Hello, welcome to this episode of Hypnotist Brainwave Exposition. Joining us again tonight is Elizabeth Campbell. Can we call you Beth?
Yes, you can call me that.
So Beth has been with us before. It was about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And we're glad to have her with us live from the National Guild of Hypnotists Convention 2016 right here at Marlborough, where how many attendees were here? About 1,000?
I think it's over 1,000.
Yeah, over 1,000 hypnotists just walking around. So you can literally throw a rock out and you hit a hypnotist. Yeah. So we're a lot of fun here tonight. And Beth is a practitioner of Theta Healing, and she has given us a live demonstration on Channel 9 back in 2014, was it?
I think it was.
It was 2014, and she's going to give us another demonstration. And but before we do that, Beth, why don't you tell us what is Theta Healing for those of you who have never heard of that?
Theta Healing, the theta in Theta Healing refers to a brainwave, to the theta brainwave, which is the same brainwave that you're in when you're having dreams at night. And it's actually the practitioner of Theta Healing that goes into that brainwave state to do the work on the client. And that's just how it got its name, because it was discovered that when this work was happening, it was happening when the practitioner, and actually the founder of Theta Healing is Vienna Stibal. So when I refer to it was found by Vienna Stibal,
Great.
who founded Theta Healing. And it's something that I use in my practice along with the hypnotherapy and along with the NLP, because it just makes a really wonderfully complete toolbox. And it's different in hypnosis, and I know people who watch your shows see people go into trance a lot. So the client is usually going into trance, and in Theta Healing, only the practitioner does a very brief trance. So rather than talk about it, a lovely, lovely woman who took my class yesterday at the conference volunteered to come and let me show you.
But before we go, could you explain to us the mechanics
Yes.
of Theta Healing?
Sure.
With the hypnosis, we can talk about conscious, unconscious, blah, blah, blah.
I
Just
thought
very
I would
briefly, yeah.
Talk about it while I show you? Would that work?
Yeah, sure, yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Because she knows nothing about it, so
Okay.
I have to explain it to her.
Okay. We've
So-
never met before. This is Joan, by
This
the
is
way.
Joan. And Joan, where are you from?
I'm actually from Westchester, New York,
Really?
and I'm a native Bronxite,
Oh,
so
how wonderful.
you'll get my full accent.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm familiar with Westchester. I lived there for 10 years. Okay, so if I'm correct, you don't know anything about Theta Healing. Alrighty. It really is something different than hypnosis, because Theta Healing works with the energy of creation. Now, I haven't asked you any questions. I haven't prepped you in any way. So I'm going to just do that for the audience. When I say it works with the energy of all creation, it's not anything religious at all. I have no idea if you have any form of religion, but it works with anybody with any belief system. All I'm doing is, on your behalf, I'm trained to contact, by going into that theta brainwave, to contact that energy. We worked with it yesterday in the class. We went up in a trance, which I did that on the last show, up to that sparkly white light. And yet yesterday you got to do some of your own work, but I go to that same spot. So we're just going up. The idea, the thought is up. I don't know where it really is, but we think about it as up. And we get to contact the energy of creation. So whatever it is that I ask you, if you want changed, as long as you say yes, then that's giving your subconscious mind permission to accept the change when it comes to you. And my job is to go up and make sure it comes to you. Okay?
Sounds good to me.
I'm like the waitress that takes your order and turns it into the kitchen and then says, "Thank you." Show me this going to her. But I'm not the one who actually brings it to you. It's really coming to you directly from that wonderful
facilitator.
energy. I'm the facilitator, exactly. So are you comfortable with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. Very good. And I tend to use the word creator for that energy. It tends to be a neutral enough name that it doesn't get involved with people's religious beliefs, because it really has nothing to do with religion. All right? So in order to find out what you want, first you have to tell me what you told me briefly yesterday, but go ahead and tell me again.
I have a tendency to procrastinate.
Okay.
And I would like to not to do that as much.
Okay, you'd like to stop procrastinating.
Right. I've been procrastinating on certain issues since I was 5 years old. And those.
And are you still procrastinating on those same issues?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And only since you were 5. Okay. You're still here, so there's still time to change
absolutely.
that. And can you tell me give me an example. You said certain issues.
I've started a manuscript probably about 25 years ago.
Okay.
Never, got halfway done with it, started a new one.
Okay.
About 15 years ago, also didn't get past.
So you're trying to get a book written.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to move as fast as I can because we have limited time. Sometimes I spend more than this with a client. So, just tell me, what happens in your life when you've got your book written and you are world famous? It is popular beyond your wildest imaginings. What happens? Tell me about that.
I think it would open up new doors for me.
Which ones?
Creatively.
Be specific.
I would be able to get out of the daily grind of, working in an office. I would be working for myself, and I would be open, I would be using my gift.
Okay, so you say if you were world famous, you would be working for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So you think that you would be able to say no when people ask you to come and speak?
I don't think I would have a problem with that.
Okay.
Speaking.
So tell me what that huge success looks like. Be as specific as you can be for yourself.
Well, it would mean doing something that I would be.
I want you to stop talking about the emotions
Mm-hmm.
and the self-fulfillment, and I want you to get to the practical nitty-gritty.
It would be financial security.
Okay, that's nice. What else would it mean?
Stable career.
What is your book about?
Well, actually, it's a little bit of a horror book.
Oh, so this is fiction.
Yes.
Okay, so fiction. So now you have to go to every writer's conference and speak. And you have to go do talk shows, which means you're up till 3 or 4 a.m. and then you're back up at 6 a.m. Okay, now there's a face.
Not sure. I think I like the romantic idea of writing. As far as the mechanics of it, I'm not disciplined enough to do the daily, 9 to 5 for myself.
There you go. Okay, so what I hear from you is that I'm procrastinating because it's going to mean I have to discipline myself. Right?
Yes.
There you go.
Wow.
How easy is that? So I use a form of muscle testing to find out what your beliefs are, but this is just a way of questioning you to find out, well, oddly enough, what's the bad stuff that will happen when you're successful? You knew. Now, you wanted to skirt it a little bit there, but, I don't let anybody do that for very long. So, it's going to cause you a lot of work. Getting the book done is going to be a lot of work. Okay. And since you were 5, you were procrastinating, you said, but it wasn't about writing this horror.
Yeah, actually it has
Since
been.
5, you've wanted
Since
to write this novel?
Since I read, at 5 years old, I read A Cat in the Hat.
Okay.
And
And that's
I
a horror
said,
novel.
and I said to myself, this is exactly what I want to do for my life.
And this is what you want to do for your life, and yet you're not doing it. So I see why this was the thing that you said to me. But you've also decided that it's a lot of work, and that you're not really sure you can do that. So let me just introduce you to muscle testing. I'm going to use your ring finger and your thumb. Some people use the index finger, but this one lines up very nicely. So I'm going to have you say, my name is Joan, and then I want you to press and hold your fingers together. And not very hard, like a little more than you're pushing an elevator button.
Okay.
All right, say, my name is Joan, and press and hold.
My name is Joan.
Press and hold. It is. All right, say, my name is Fred.
My name is Fred.
Press and hold, and wide open. Your
Wow.
fingers go wide open. Now we know that muscle testing is coming from the subconscious because 90% of your mind is your subconscious, so it's going to win every time. And if your subconscious does not think your name is Fred, you weaken momentarily and your fingers open. Okay, that was, I know you know that sort of thing, but that's for anybody watching. I love to work hard. Say that for me.
I love to work hard.
Press and hold. Actually, you kind of not really. You almost fooled me for a second there. You don't. What's the worst thing about working hard?
I think it's the exhaustion at the end of the day.
Exhaustion at the end of the day.
And the fear of not getting rewarded for working that hard, which I've kind of been there.
The fear of not, okay, and what happens when you're not rewarded for your hard work?
Well, you feel like a failure, and you feel as if you're passing, you're getting the baton, but somebody else is getting the credit for it.
Okay, and so just close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to imagine that you have done all of this work, and for whatever reason, someone else is out there taking the glory for your work. And what is the worst thing that happens to you when that happens?
Okay. Go into a fetal position.
You'll go into a fetal position. And what is the worst thing that happens to you when you have found yourself in a fetal position because somebody has taken your work from you?
You feel as if, I would feel as if I were a huge failure.
A huge failure, which is something you've already said. So let's say that you're a failure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what it feels like to be a failure?
Sure, you don't get to be 61 and not feel that.
Okay, so this is not something you want to feel again. What is the worst thing that happens if you do feel it again?
Get up.
You would have to just go through it all again? Yep. And I'm feeding you stuff I usually don't, but we're on a time limit.
No, get up and move on.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And what happens if you have to get up and move on again after you have expended all of your creative energy?
I may try another venue, another road.
All right. So let's just do a little muscle test here.
Mm-hmm.
If I put all of my, I'm trying to get just one finger, you're trying to double team me there. Okay. So just say, if I write my book, someone else is going to take the credit or the glory. What would the word be for you? You've got tears in your eyes. Now, this is, I'm not going to ask you for it because of time, but you have an experience that this is bringing up in you. And is it safe to say that you feel it could happen again?
Yes.
Okay. Now just say, if I write my book, someone else will take the credit.
Or the public won't like it.
Or the public won't like it. So, close your eyes again and think about that. What is your worst fear about the public not liking your book? What happens to you?
They would reject my work and, in a sense, reject me.
What is the worst thing that happens to you, Joan, when you become rejected? Nobody likes your work and they're just rejecting
I would
you.
just feel bad, just feel, sad.
And what's the worst thing that happens to you when you become very sad, rejected and sad?
Well, shed a few tears and get up and move on.
And you don't want to do that again, do you?
I've done it too many times in my life.
Okay, so it's pretty clear. So let me just say to people watching, it looks like I'm being mean to this beautiful woman.
No, absolutely not. Oh my God.
So what we're looking for with Theta is we're looking for the underlying belief that is making her procrastinate. And it's really obvious that she is procrastinating because if she gets it done, she has this fear that she's going to have everything taken away from her anyway. Or it won't be so good that somebody wants to steal the glory. Nobody will like it, and she'll feel rejected. And there's nothing worse than that. Do you know there's a primal fear of being sent away from the tribe? Because when people used to be sent away from the tribe, they were out in the jungle and they were basically done for. So we have this primal fear. So when we think of being rejected, it's one of the deepest, most painful feelings we can possibly have. And that's your fear of, and that's why you're not writing your book. Can we fix all that?
Please.
Okay.
Please.
All right. So that's the process, and now it gets better because you don't have to even do any work. I get to do the work. So would you like to know that, well, first of all, let me ask you, are you any good at writing?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you know you're good.
No, I really,
Yeah.
in my bones. I know.
And you know, you said in my class yesterday, and you were this bright, wonderful face, and I thought, what great energy this lady has, and yet you have these fears, and they're very real. Even though the reality probably never would happen, they're stopping you. So I'd like to pull for you the fear of having somebody steal your work, the fear of people not liking your work, the fear of people rejecting you, okay, and download, because now we pull a fear, I take that order up to get rid of that, and then we have to put something in its place, okay? So would you like to know what it feels like to love yourself, to have absolute solid self-confidence that whatever you write is going to be loved by everybody who reads it? Would you like to know what it feels like to trust your talent and to trust your intuition and to know that you can draw to you the people who will treat you properly in this process? Would you like to know that you have
I would
that?
love to
Okay.
know that.
And by the way, you're part of this, so anything else you want to add that you want, you get to say so. So please interrupt if there's something else that comes up. And would you like to know that, well, do you have a higher power idea in your mind, any kind of spiritual beliefs or system that you work with?
Universal God, I mean, it
Okay.
doesn't matter.
So
religion.
This God, this creator that is going to be the one supplying you with this, would you like to know that you are so loved, so unconditionally loved and accepted, and frankly that when you're doing what you came to do, and you knew at 5 what you came to do, that when you're doing that, it's going to feel better than anything could ever feel. Would you like to have that downloaded? Just that excitement and that joy to be, would you like to be able to, all of this, we're in a 3-way conversation, so everything I'm saying is already going on a list.
I'm already feeling electricity kind of running
Excellent.
through my core.
Excellent. So that's the anticipation. Would you like to know that the way is paved for you when you are following your destiny, and that you have known this is your destiny since you were 5, so there's really no way you can fail. There's no way you can fail. You've got all the energy in the universe working for you on this project. Would you like to know that?
I've been my own worst enemy.
So is the answer yes?
Yes.
Okay, I have to have a yes.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
That's because your subconscious won't take it, because you have free will. It won't take it unless you've already said yes to it. So I'm going to take all of that, and I'm going to go into the theta brainwave. My eyelids will flutter. My head will not spin around. Okay. My eyelids will flutter. Bernie's very happy that no, he's not happy. He's like, darn it, I'll spin my head later for you. Yeah, okay. So I go up and I say, Creator of all that is, on behalf of Joan, take all of these things and change them. Thank you. Show me. And then I witness it, still from the theta brain level, I witness it visually of those changes happening within you, and you get them. Now, before we do this, I like people to have proof, because you can sit there in front of the camera and say, oh, I feel great, and they don't know if that's real or not. So we're going to do, for you and for camera, the muscle testing on a couple of beliefs. So I think we already did. If I write my book, someone else will take the credit. You had a yes on that. Didn't you? Let's do it again. Say it one more time real quick.
If I write my book, someone else will take the credit.
Press and hold. Press and hold. That's actually not your big fear. If I write this book, I will be rejected.
If I write this book, I'll be rejected.
Press and hold tight. That's your fear right there. All right, so we're going to test that one again when I'm all done. All right, okay, so you just relax. Doesn't take me long. There's not much to look at if you want to, you know, make faces at the camera. No.
Good.
Bernie did that for me last time. All righty, here we go. All right. Say, my name is Joan.
My name is Joan.
Press and hold. My name is George.
My name is George.
Press and hold. Okay. Say, if I write my book, I will get rejected.
If I write my book, I will get rejected.
Press and hold. Big no. And you're trying extra hard. Okay. So I only tested one, but they all go together. So now I want you to just take a moment, because we're almost done here. Think about writing that book now and see how it feels. The eyes open. Think about it in real life. How does it feel?
Feels great.
It feels great. Okay. Because it had nothing to do with writing the book. It had to do with not wanting to be in a position to be rejected. All right? Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very good. So that's basically it. Do you have any questions, Bernie?
So what's next? So like now we found out what her, like I guess that would be like a subconscious kind of mental block.
Yes. So
what would Theta Healing do next?
what would Theta Healing do next?
Right now we're supposed to like Theta assessment.
A theta? Is there a Theta assessment?
No. What I think. So what's going to happen to her next now that she knows what her problem is?
Well, I changed her problem when I closed my eyes.
Okay.
All of those things when I said, great question, thank you. When I said, would you like this, would you like that, would you like this, would you like that, and she said yes to those things. When I closed my eyes, I went into the theta brainwave to connect to the energy of the creator. I know it sounds like science fiction, but you can see it works.
Right.
And I said, for Joan, change all of that.
Okay.
Thank you. Show me. And I witnessed energetically the changes. When I could tell it was done, I came back and then we muscle tested that one belief, that deepest one, which was if I write my book, I will get rejected.
Okay.
Her answer at that point then was no. And then the way I also test is to say, okay, now think about doing that and how does that feel?
Okay.
Because she's still coming from the emotions and the subconscious when she thinks about going and doing it now. Only the feeling was totally different.
Does it have to be problem-based?
No, it does not have to be problem-based. It's such a dramatic thing to see that I wanted to change a fear for this show.
Right, okay.
Because it has stopped her since she was 5 years old.
Okay.
And she's over 5 now.
So I guess like...
It's time to get
So I'm
with
just
it.
putting the pieces into my
Yes.
head right now.
Okay.
So I guess like, if we phrase it into like a traditional CB, cognitive behavioral therapy kind of context, it would be like, Joan here wants to get over her fear of writing.
Right.
So that would be it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was under more of the impression you were trying to help her write the book. Would you be so in like a therapeutic setting, would Joan be coming to see you for a long session to help her write a book, or was this just it?
This should be it. Because I'm not an expert on helping write a book.
The books, plural, are
Right.
written here. I just have to put them on paper.
So this enables
So they would be
her
like
to
the
actually do
only
it.
one and only session.
This would be a standalone session. She should be good to go. I shouldn't need to see her again.
Okay.
And all those things I asked, would you like this feeling and that feeling? They're like icing on the cake.
Okay.
They're filling in the blanks or the holes that were left by taking out the fear.
Right. So you were suggesting that her fear is of her own, or her fear is of not her own? Like by that I mean like, did you change something about her?
in
Did
the
you change something
hypnosis-
around her to cause that change in her?
Well, theoretically, with Theta Healing, the person holds the belief in the subconscious, and energetically, it is removed
By you or by
the creator. Not
okay,
by
so
me.
so like if it is
That's why I said I'm the waitress.
if
I
it
take
is
the order.
removed by like a third party
A higher power.
right entity,
Mm-hmm.
then are you also not suggesting that, or are you suggesting that her fear belongs to her, or her fear is, let's say, stored in like a cloud? You use like internet
That's
terms like.
such a really neat question.
Are we walking? Are you so you by Theta Healing's idea? Are we like devices connected to the internet? I guess like that would be like the analogy.
That's not something I've ever come across. It really, in fact, there's a
But that's
great-
kind of what you did, though, right?
well,
Like
there's a great.
it's kind of like you changed your phone's app by contacting the server.
Yeah,
But then you're also saying that the app is not based in the phone, but like the problem wasn't in the phone.
No,
the
the
problem was in the
is in her
server.
subconscious.
Okay.
The problem is in her subconscious. It could also come from other lifetimes. It could come from her ancestors. It could be, genetic. And all of those things get changed. It doesn't even matter where they come from. As long as it's bothering her, we can get rid of it.
Okay.
That's what it's very practical, really. As woo-woo as it may sound, it's pretty practical.
Okay.
But I love your idea. I have to give that some thought. But Theta Healing really does respect the free will and individuality of the person.
Right.
And that's why she has to say yes to everything, because her subconscious isn't going to allow me to just decide I know what she needs and go and say, hey, send this to her. It's going to bounce off.
So does it change her aura of, does her change come from the change in the aura of energy? Or do you change in her that would cause the change in the aura of energy?
I don't know if this answers the question. It changes her beliefs and her feelings and her attitudes and her ideas. So it's going to change her energy, because all of those are energy. So all of this is simply an energy shift. You give back some energy that isn't working for you, and you take in some that will.
Do you need to go back to Theta state to check her energy now?
Nope.
Or okay.
I muscle tested on the belief to see if it was changed.
So when you go into Theta state, the only purpose is to
Place
ask the entity to change energy.
Place the order and watch
Okay.
it happen.
Okay.
I felt as if I had an epiphany when you really took like an onion, you peeled away some of those layers to get to the core of it.
Well, a part of being the practitioner is listening and wanting to hear what's going on. So it's a lot of fun.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Thank you
Very
so much.
welcome.
I think this is all the time we have for tonight. Once again, joining us here is Elizabeth Campbell, and she is an expert in Theta Healing, and our volunteer here is Joan. All right, so join us next week, CCTV Channel 9, Cambridge.
Thank you.